Fuel prices have risen dramatically in the past week. Will they affect RV travel? I'm Jason Epperson, this is RV Miles, and today our special report on fuel prices. But right before we jump in, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, the Togo RV app. Download it for free on Apple or Android and use it for maintenance reminders and checklists and storing all the data about your RV. They have all kinds of RV ownership information, including a new RV buying course from Abby and myself. If you like the app, you can get a Road Pass Pro membership, which unlocks all kinds of premium features on the Togo RV app. It's $49.99 a year and gives you turn-by-turn RV GPS routing, lots of great discounts on things like tires and lithium batteries and more. A Road Pass Pro membership also includes premium access at Road Trippers, Campanium, and Our Village. Download the free Togo RV app, and if you decide to upgrade to a Road Pass Pro membership, you can save $10 off with the code RVMiles10X. Well, fuel prices have been rising over the course of the past year, spawned by a heck of a lot of things. But in the last few weeks, and especially the last few days, that rise has taken a swift and dramatic upturn. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has roiled the oil market, with crude spiking to over $113 a barrel as I'm recording this on Friday, March 4th, the highest price since May 2014, which, not coincidentally, was the last time that fuel prices were this high. The increase in the global price of oil has led to higher pump prices all over the world. And in the US, the national average for a gallon of gas was $3.83 on Friday, up 11 cents overnight. That's the highest one-day jump in fuel prices ever, with the closest being the day Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005. Gas is up 29 cents from the beginning of Russia's invasion of Ukraine 8 days ago. It's up 41 cents from a month ago and up about 90 cents over pre-pandemic 2019's high. Diesel is now sitting at $4.25, up 48 cents from a month ago. Experts say pump prices are likely to continue to rise if crude prices continue to climb. There are other factors involved, but the main driver right now is the worldwide price of crude oil. Fuel price analysts at AAA say that Americans should plan for an average of $4 a gallon in the coming days. Of course, that means a lot more in places where fuel is usually well above average, and we could be much higher by the summer. To help counter the impact of rising oil prices, the International Energy Agency, or IEA, has coordinated a release of 60 million barrels of crude oil from its 31 member countries' strategic reserves, including the US, Germany, Canada, South Korea, and Mexico. The contribution from each country is unknown, but half is expected to come from the US. But that announcement from a few days ago has had little effect on the price of oil, considering Russia produces 10 million barrels a day, about 12% of the global trade. And the market will likely continue to increase the price of oil as more sanctions are imposed on Russia, including a possible ban of crude imports from Russia to the US or other countries altogether. Now, the US is the largest producer of oil in the world, along with being the largest consumers. And we're actually producing more oil than we did in 2020 or 2019, as US oil companies have finally decided to really increase their production after slashing it at the beginning of the pandemic. But we're also one of the top exporters of oil, sending as much of it overseas as we bring in. It didn't used to be that way. With U.S. crude oil production nearly doubling from 2009 to 2015, Congress actually repealed a crude oil export ban in December of 2015 that had been in place since 1975, allowing the free export of U.S. crude oil worldwide. Global turmoil is causing that oil that private companies make to be worth more. And that's why the overall idea of energy independency is a bit of a myth. Americans need to import oil, and they need to export oil. Oil isn't usually used as crude, it has to be refined, and much of the oil that we make isn't really suitable to be used for engine fuel. Many people want to point to White House policies that are causing these large increases in prices, and I don't really want to get into the politics of it. There's no doubt that the reductions in oil leases may increase prices in years to come. But energy experts say that's not really the current situation we're dealing with right now. U.S. production is not at capacity. OPEC and American producers have kept production low since they slashed it in March of 2020 until really late 2021. Now, you may disagree with my assessment of that, and that's okay. We can have that debate, but the reality is that it's a worldwide marketplace. And even if the US were able to increase the production of oil dramatically right now, that oil is still worth a lot of money overseas, and we don't get to just keep it for ourselves. We're subject to the whims of private corporations who produce the oil and the demands of the market. So, how will this affect RV and road trip travel this year? Well, I'm anecdotally seeing a lot of people talking about reining in their travels.
This coming year, we had planned on going all the way up to Washington, spending a bulk of the summer in Washington State, going down to Oregon a little bit, down to the Balloon Fiesta again, and then making our way back to Florida. We're still planning on doing that. If the fuel costs stay around where they are now, that'll still be our plan.
We are probably staying longer at campgrounds this year than we did last year, and also
not traveling as far.
Yeah, not traveling as far. So right now our plan is to go to Maine, and I think we would cut that short and probably stop in Virginia. If gas prices continue to rise, we would definitely have to cut our trip shorter than what we did in the past.
The price of diesel's shot up significantly. It's $4.79 today. It's affecting our planning. We were planning to do California. We're kind of thinking California's out of the picture now. You know, if it's $4.79 in Florida, I hate to see what it is in California today.
We've had a discussion going on in the RV Miles Facebook group with hundreds of RVers, and about half plan to make cuts to their travel choices a bit, either by saving money on cheaper camping or by shortening the distance of their travels. Around 10% are cutting out major trips altogether, and the other half are just seeing how it goes. Comments range from, "I'm just going to suffer. I saw the diesel price today and I almost fainted," to, "We had planned a Route 66 trip this summer to celebrate our retirement. Cross-country plans are out, thinking of exploring closer to home." One of the benefits of RV ownership is the ability to at least control the costs a bit. You're not stuck with whatever the airline or hotel wants to charge. Some are using RV travel as a way to get away from the higher prices of fuel in certain areas, leaving the western or northeastern states where gas is pushing $4 a gallon or above to the central plains where it's still generally under $3.50. As for us, as full-timers, we put about 2/3 of our miles on our truck without the trailer hooked up. We're doing lots of short day trips to visit sites along with regular trips to laundromats and grocery stores. We don't plan on making changes to our long distance travel yet, but we're probably going to be more careful about how often we head into town or whether we run the generator when we're boondocking. Overall, other types of travel are just as affected as RVing, and one can argue that higher fuel prices actually increase day trip traveling with a few hours drive of home, and that's on the balance fairly positive for the RV industry, which doesn't seem to be slowing down yet. More on that in our next RV and camping news roundup video coming out soon. Let me know though if you have made plans to your travels based on the price of fuel in the comments below. I hope you'll like this video and subscribe to the channel, and we hope to see you next time.